Have you ever had one small act of kindness change your entire life? On a cold rainy night in Chicago, a lonely single mom was simply trying to get home after a long shift at work. She was exhausted, worried about bills, and wondering how she would make ends meet for her young daughter. But before that night was over, one unexpected decision would connect her with a stranger and change both of their lives forever. Stay with us because this heartwarming story proves that kindness can appear when you least expect it, and sometimes the people we help end up helping us in ways we never imagined. Before we begin, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Kindness Legacy, and leave a comment telling us where you're watching from. Your support helps us share more inspiring stories that remind the world how powerful kindness can be. Sarah Thompson was a 34-year-old single mother living in a small apartment with her 8-year-old daughter, Lily. Life hadn't been easy since her husband left several years earlier. She worked long hours as a waitress, often taking extra shifts just to keep food on the table and pay rent. Most days, she felt invisible, like the world was moving on without her. Yet despite all her struggles, Sarah always tried to help others whenever she could. One rainy Friday night, after finishing a late shift, Sarah was driving home when she noticed a man stumbling near the entrance of a downtown office building. He looked confused and unsteady. As she drove closer, she realized he was heavily intoxicated and trying unsuccessfully to call a taxi. Several cars passed him without stopping. Sarah hesitated. She was tired and wanted nothing more than to get home. But something in her heart wouldn't let her ignore him. She pulled over and rolled down her window. "Sir, are you okay?" she asked. The man looked up, clearly embarrassed. "I think I lost my driver," he said with a weak smile. Sarah could tell he wasn't in any condition to be alone. After a brief conversation, she learned his name was Michael Carter and that he lived across town. Though she was cautious, she decided to help. She called his phone, found his home address, and offered to drive him there. During the drive, Michael was quiet. Occasionally he apologized for causing trouble. Sarah simply smiled and told him everyone needs help sometimes. When they arrived at a large house in an upscale neighborhood, Michael thanked her repeatedly. Before getting out, he handed her a business card and said, "You helped me when nobody else would. I'll never forget that." Sarah thanked him politely and drove away, never expecting to see him again. The next morning, Sarah returned to her normal routine. She dropped Lily off at school and headed to work. Life continued as usual. A few days later, however, something unexpected happened. Her restaurant manager called her into the office. Standing there was Michael Carter, now sober and professionally dressed. Sarah was shocked. It turned out Michael wasn't just another stranger. He was the CEO of a successful technology company with hundreds of employees across the country. Michael explained that he had been dealing with the loneliness of losing his wife 2 years earlier. Since then, he had buried himself in work and rarely connected with anyone. That rainy night had been particularly difficult, and Sarah's kindness had reminded him that good people still existed. He thanked her again and handed her an envelope. Sarah assumed it was money and immediately tried to refuse. Michael smiled and said, "Please open it first." Inside was an offer for a new position at his company. During their conversation that night, Michael had learned about Sarah's strong organizational skills and work ethic. The job came with training, benefits, and a salary far greater than what she earned at the restaurant. Sarah was speechless. Tears filled her eyes. For the first time in years, she felt hope. She accepted the opportunity and began working at the company a few weeks later. As months passed, Sarah thrived in her new role. More importantly, she and Michael developed a genuine friendship. They often talked about life, family, and the challenges they had both faced. Michael became a positive mentor for Lily, and Sarah helped Michael rediscover happiness after years of grief and isolation. Neither of them had expected that one rainy night would create such a meaningful connection. The simple act of stopping to help a stranger had transformed both of their lives. Sarah gained stability, confidence, and new opportunities. Michael gained friendship, purpose, and a reminder that kindness still exists in the world. Their story spread throughout the company, inspiring employees to look for opportunities to help others. And it all began with one simple choice: caring enough to stop. As we end this story, remember that kindness doesn't require wealth, power, or special abilities. Sometimes it starts with a simple question: are you okay? You never know how deeply your actions may impact someone else's life. The smallest act of compassion can create ripples that reach farther than you could ever imagine. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs a reminder that kindness still matters. And remember, every day gives us a chance to make someone's life a little brighter. The world changes one kind act at a time.